Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So this is Fran here, and of course this is our game week review for game week number 3. And honestly, it was a great week in my opinion, with the exception to Greenwood scoring again, which is fantastic for him as a player. I'm so happy for him. And if you guys remember back in the game week 1 live stream, he was the player that I was deliberating between, whether I changed my team up for him and maybe change Son with him. But the nice thing, of course, is Son had a good haul. And ultimately, I think altogether it was as good as a week that it could have gone, really, with maybe exception to perhaps the lack of a need for a Livramento transfer. But as we saw, Simicast did hit a price fall yesterday. So, of course, it was nice to at least profit that kind of amount. And as we head into a potential wildcard scenario, which is very likely for me, I think that's the plan. As you can see here, my game week rank says I think it was a top 820k finish, but I think that's not completely correct. Bonus points haven't really been added in, factored into the system. So basically what happened is that Regulon and Sun haven't kind of included their bonus points, so my overall rank is incorrect as per here. My overall rank should be 24,300 as per live FPL, so or roughly around there, okay? But basically, I was last week with 190 points, and if you just add in the 72 points I have there, it's clearly not 257. So that's just a little bit of a disclaimer. But in terms of a recap of the week, I'm very happy with, in general, how all the picks performed. I think the Antonio captaincy was completely on the money from us. Really good job there. Unlucky for people who might have gone for Kane a little bit earlier. I think he had maybe one chance to score, but it was tough. I actually thought that Spurs played a lot worse than expected. They didn't really create many chances. But on a defensive end, I was pretty happy with Tottenham, to be honest. And what I do think is that, however, with the kind of lack of creation right now, it's probably a good time to actually move the needle on Tottenham and maybe really just move away from them completely. I've loved Son. I actually do like keeping Regulon. To be honest, I will keep Regulon even if I wildcard, but I think I'm very tempted to move away from Son if I do wildcard. And to be quite honest, I think I'd be happy to do a wildcard with you guys right now and actually lock it in. So, my transfers right now, as you can see in this screen, are probably going to be removing Bruno for now and going for Torres. This could be, either Greenwood for now, but Torres is about to hit a price rise, so I'm not going to avoid that. And I've preliminary kind of moved Ings into Lukaku for now. Now, the structure of this team will 100% change. Omo Bamidele, for example, can be changed into someone like Brandon Williams for now. And we can kind of look at that as our template structure. And that is kind of how I feel about the team right now, to be honest, with maybe I could even say, Gilmore coming in ahead of Brownhill. But that's really how things stand. And I do plan on wildcarding, so I will actually just lock it in with you guys right now. I will play the wild card. Okay, guys, very happy to have done that. And as we can see, to be honest with this team, I do plan on moving into a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 structure. There could be situations where I move into a 4-3-3 structure. This would probably still incorporate Salah in the team. I'm waiting for Ronaldo's price before I kind of complete my full wildcard video, because his price will determine how I kind of change my team structure, because I think I would like to play Ronaldo. There could be chances where I stick with 3 premiums, but as per now, that's really how things stand for me. I was happy to drop Bruno because I don't really see him staying within my team. I'm probably going to go for Greenwood and Cristiano, and that's the plan, really. So with Reguilon, I'm happy to keep him, but it's clear that Livramento will probably be just a clear bench option for me. If I play a 4-back, I think I would either bring in a Chelsea or a Man City defender, because that would be, I think, how I kind of move forward. I think even though both teams have tough fixtures, they're both equally capable of having set and forget options. The tricky thing with Chelsea is that you can clearly see one option being Reece James, because Alonso still has to deal with maybe Chilwell coming back. And I can see Alonso about to hit another price rise, but I'd still like to kind of stay away from him. I like Diaz from City, of course, if I can some way somehow fit him in my team. And some people have mentioned moving away from Trent, which I'm still a little bit wary of. I think, yes, while Chelsea and City could indeed keep potentially more clean sheets than Liverpool, I think Trent will have his value just by having those kind of attacking chances. And I know someone like Alonso, who plays very deep lying for Chelsea, plays this kind of left winger role, especially when Mount drops deeper. and he overlaps with Mount. I think with exception to him, really, most of the assets, there's a clear comparable difference between the way that Trent operates as an attacking player for Liverpool, and that's why I think he can't be missed. I think even if I do wildcard some other of the players away, such as Son, and maybe even move into a four back, where I would probably be looking at, let's say, even a Wolves defense if I wanted to play a bit cheaper and stick with Trent. That's probably how I would see things. But that's how things stand right now. I am going to wildcard and I've locked it in with you guys. Let's actually have a look at the price rises though, and the reason why I've pretty much gone through with that is because Torres has clearly hit the kind of benchmark target for a price rise. Lukaku probably doesn't price rise today, but I can really see it happening over the course of the international window. If anything kind of iffy happens, I can also see myself moving out of some of these players as well. But I'm generally happy with the way my team is built so far. I think the only thing I can see myself doing is maybe moving into Calvert-Lewin as well, potentially, and then deciding between either Lukaku or Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo has a fantastic fixture versus Newcastle. Some of the players that I'd be definitely looking at would be Laporte, who has continued his fine form, and if Pep is to be believed, you could probably stick with Laporte for a while now. And that's the lovely thing there. With Greenwood, he's definitely on my radar. I mean, if I'm going to drop, Son from my team, then clearly I would have to kind of look at Greenwood as an option. And Demarai Gray is very, very interesting, especially if you go for a much more kind of midfield dense team. So that's how I feel about that. In terms of the price falls right now, nothing really sticks out so far. I think Cavani, we know exactly why he dropped. De Bruyne as well, continuing to not play, makes a lot of sense. And I think Dalot is also sent for a transfer away, and I've changed Omobamidele for Williams for now to avoid his price fall. So that is pretty much how things stand for me. Nothing too crazy out of the blue. I know the wild card might be a bit crazy, but I'm very confident that will happen, because basically, if you considered my team previously, the issue was that I had to deal with, if we look at this structure, for example, I have to deal with moving away from Ings. I have a price fall on Omobamidele. I have Livramento, who probably shouldn't be a starter in my team, but is a starter in my team. And then I have, I think, the issue with, let's say, having to replace Son in game week 5 because he has to play versus Chelsea. After that, he does technically have nice fixtures, so I can maybe reconsider him then. But it's also about kind of making sure that I have the structure to go into a Chelsea deep team. And I think when you go into a Chelsea deep team, you're probably actually looking for two Chelsea defenders and Lukaku, to be honest. So maybe starting with Lukaku off the bat might not be a bad idea, because Lukaku seems to still be able to build chances versus top defenses, and we saw that versus Liverpool. So I really like Lukaku still. I was actually more impressed by Lukaku than I was in the previous week versus Arsenal, because that was finally kind of his big test in terms of how he operated versus the side. I wouldn't say his decision making was 100% on point, but nor were some of his teammates. Chelsea really could have gone maybe 2-0 ahead early if either Lukaku or Havertz had made one or two slightly better decisions in that half, before Reece James had kind of made his fateful error. But that's how things stand. Ultimately, a fantastic week that kind of sees me hit 24,300 or a rank somewhere around there. I'll update that across as the week goes. But I've locked in the wild card, and I'll make a full wild card video explaining my full kind of team selection. Right now, all I've done is pretty much try to avoid some of the price rises and price falls, or benefit from the price rises rather, and that's how things stand. Hope you guys enjoy the video. But for now, I'll see you guys tomorrow.